Hello there, BoBo the Bitcoiner is back. What do you think of the monetary system today? I think it needs to be reset. Let's review. The monetary system today, every country has their own sovereign fiat to govern, right? The stability of the fiat depends very much on her government, right? Better managed and less corrupted country like Singapore demonstrates economic strength through its policy. But Singapore is too small country to make impact on the world. US dollars, or US is currently the major economic superpower where most countries depend because US dollar role as a global reserve currency. Roughly 2/3 or 3/5 of the world's trade payment are made in US dollars. Unfortunately, US being the big brother of the world does not carry herself well. After World War II, they took on the role of the world's policeman, trying to maintain peace and rebuke countries that do not contribute to the world order. They supposedly also assist poorer countries economically. But after the fall of the Russia, during the Cold War, they became more bold and arrogant. From scolding other countries, they conveniently graduate to punishment. Countries that do not comply with their binding are penalized with sanction, embargo, censorship. From bold to aggression, they infiltrate and support opposition, bring down the government that did not obey or abide by the US policy. Worse, assassinate the government in power, failing which they bomb the country, all in the name of human rights. Currently, they even try to suppress China simply because China is now a grown-up giant comparable to them, if not better, not only in economics but in technology, maybe militarily also. They expect to be a big brother forever. Meantime, their economy is deteriorating. Right. They spend billions of dollars on fostering opposition, wars with many countries, military armaments, from arms to missile, from submarine to aircraft carrier, spy planes to fighter jets, that domestically the country suffer. When run out of money, they print money out of thin air. Gradually, they lost the respect, global respect, both as a big brother and in finance. But the world economy is too much correlated with US dollars. Ultimately, the world suffer along with it, right? Moreover, US politicians and banks are all too corrupted. If you look at their economy, 1 to 2% of the top elite own more than 50% of the country's wealth. Imagine. They run a broken, corrupted monetary system for far too long. And the world should not be following them. When we were born, we are already thrown into this traditional biased monetary system. As we grow up, we are molded into US dollar dependency. Now, we live and breathe not fresh confidence, but polluted monetary system. Something needs to be done to release the world of US clutches. Yet, monetary system is set by US and the world banking system are all too dependent on them. So how? The current broken monetary system needs a reset, not to reset to another country's dictatorial monetary system, which can be equally unfair and corrupted. And the best option is to find a global monetary system that is fair, truthful, and uncorrupted. And the best option is to find a global system. Okay, so the problem here is everything is manipulated by the government, right? And it's almost an impossible task for anybody to unwind the current system. Maybe we have a fair and uncorrupted system in the Bitcoin network, but will Bitcoin ecosystem be able to save us from the US clutches? The answer lies with the people of the world. How resilient are you to get rid of US clutches? Or are we surrendering our status quo just to play safe since we live in environment or in that environment already? No way. We may be too old to make a difference, but at least we can make an impact on or for our future generation. Please give yourself some thought. Is this a way out of the current corrupted monetary system? Bitcoin is a global monetary system that do not belong to anyone or any country, that everyone is free to use without force, intimidation, bullying, or maltreatment. It is borderless to be genuine global. It may not materialize, or it could be decades away. If there is a meaning of freedom, probably economic freedom is what the world needs now. Some question how Bitcoin can be a world reserve when volatility is out of control. Not now, of course, not yet. Bitcoin will mature to the extent that it will be less fluctuating, similar to US dollar today. Say in 5 or 10 years time, Bitcoin, or as a matter of fact, Satoshi, which is 100 million of the unit of Bitcoin, could be worth about $1 US. So poorly managed country like USA or corrupted country like USA may be worth 0.2 Satoshi, whereas Swiss francs could be worth 1.2 Satoshi, and so on. This means 1 Swiss francs is equal to $6, for example. That is probably the best benchmark to measure each country worth according to their trade value. That will also probably make country like US think, but this kind of corruption, corrupted manipulation of the world is not right to do, because our value is getting lower. I could be dreaming, but young reader could be the witness in times to come. Right? Each Bitcoin bull market cycle will search far greater heights than the previous, and there is no reason to believe that this will change until that is the entire monetary system is reset. Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency maybe were created as a solution to fiat currency that are always or almost always inflated and debts that are almost always growing out of control. Investors look at Bitcoin chart and see it going ballistic. Then they assure or they assume that at some point Bitcoin will come back down permanently. What they are missing is the fact that the unit of account, typically US dollar, never stop losing purchasing power. Inflation is the norm and deflation is the exception. That is true for the dollar today and it's true for all paper currency, past, present and future. In the digital world, the ideal brand new currency should at least have three characteristics. It should be free from control of any authority so that it cannot be manipulated and printed at will. And nobody can tell you what they can or cannot do with your money. The second point, currency should be borderless so that it can be easily exchanged across any location in the world. And number three, it should be apolitical so as not to favor a specific system or group of people. Bitcoin is a money free from dictatorship, oppression, and hyperinflation, and a financial safe haven for everyone living under those circumstances. It has a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoin that will never be changed. And we know exactly how many are released to the world at what rate, as well as approximately when the last Bitcoin will be created. People who live in a first world country will find it more difficult to understand why a decentralized currency is valuable, because their society's money is most likely sound, or it appears to be, right? So in reality, money controlled by the central bank is not sound money, right? Government like to spend more than they earn from taxes. So by their own power, they print money for their needs. When the money is printed, it decreases the value of the dollar. People are entitled to freedom as a human right, and government who reign their money arguably takes away their people's economic freedom. Thus, the greatest thing people desire is a currency that cannot be controlled by a reckless central authority. You agree? Hope you enjoyed today's episode. See you next time. Bye-bye.